Welcome back to the Twisted Quiz. If you enjoy general knowledge and trivia, you'll love the challenge of this unique weekly quiz game. Today, we're traveling into the past with this special history edition of the quiz that will test your knowledge of ancient civilizations, empires, rulers, explorers, wars, and much more. And if you feel amused, entertained, and more knowledgeable by the end, well, you know what to do. All right then, let's get going. Which legendary city, somewhere in the Atlantic according to Plato, was destroyed in a single day and night, but no one can prove it ever existed? Atlantis. The Colossus of Rhodes, one of the 7 wonders of the world, was a giant statue of which Greek sun god? Helios. In which modern-day North African country was the ancient city of Carthage that was destroyed by the Romans? Tunisia. Despite being a powerful ruler, which Persian king lost a war to the much smaller Greek forces in 480 BC? Xerxes. Which famous conqueror was born in Macedonia, died in Babylon, and named dozens of cities after himself? Alexander the Great. In 1804, which French leader broke with tradition and crowned himself emperor, instead of letting the Pope do it? Napoleon Bonaparte. Which famous battle lasted less than 10 hours but changed the course of history by making William the Conqueror the King of England? Battle of Hastings. For nearly 30 years, which German city was famously divided by a wall that became the most iconic symbol of the Cold War in Europe? Berlin. Which infamous standoff in 1962 between the US and the Soviet Union over missiles brought the world closer to nuclear war than ever before? The Cuban Missile Crisis. Which metal, essential to the modern world, was considered more valuable than gold in the 19th century due to the difficulty and expense of extracting it from its ore? Aluminum. Which modern-day country in the Middle East is home to the ancient ruins of Petra, carved into red sandstone cliffs? Jordan. Which ancient Greek storyteller is famous for his fables about talking animals and moral lessons? Aesop. Which 20th century Soviet leader was nominated twice for the Nobel Peace Prize, despite being responsible for millions of deaths? Joseph Stalin. We have many more interesting questions coming up, but if you're enjoying the quiz, this might be the right time to click that subscribe button. All right, let's move on. Which legendary city in modern-day Peru was famously lost and then rediscovered in 1911? Machu Picchu. Who holds the record as the longest reigning monarch in history, having ruled for over 72 years? King Louis XIV of France. What's unique about the Anglo-Zanzibar War between the United Kingdom and the Sultanate of Zanzibar that took place on August 27, 1896? It was the shortest war in history, lasting only 38 minutes. Which large and powerful British trading company even had its own army and had once colonized modern-day India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar? The East India Company. Which American state was actually an independent country from 1836 to 1845, before it became the 28th state of the USA? Texas. Which Portuguese explorer was the first to sail around Africa's Cape of Good Hope in 1488, paving the way for later expeditions like Vasco da Gama's journey to India? Bartolomeo Diaz. Before the Panama Canal was built, ships had to take a long route and travel around the dangerous waters of which South American Cape? Cape Horn. Which Italian explorer's name was given to the entire American continent, despite him not being the first to discover it? Amerigo Vespucci. Which ancient trade route connected China to Europe and was famous for facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture between the two regions? The Silk Road. Which historic canal, completed in 1869, connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea? The Suez Canal. Which fortress city in France, besieged by the English during the 100 Years' War, was liberated by Joan of Arc in 1429? Orleans. The eruption of which famous Italian volcano destroyed the ancient city of Pompeii in 79 AD? Mount Vesuvius. Thank you for watching this episode of the Twisted Quiz. You may drop your scores and suggestions in the comments. Please do subscribe to this channel and share it with other quiz lovers like you. And don't forget to drop in next week for a new episode of the Twisted Quiz.